What's up, everybody? I'm gonna give him my UFC 302 predictions. I haven't made a video in a while. I don't really have a reason. I just kind of got the urge to make a video, so I might as well. I got nothing better to do. Um, this first fight, Andre Lima versus Mitch Raposo. I'm gonna go with Andre Lima by decision. I think he's better overall. I don't really know a whole lot about Mitch Raposo. I'm pretty sure he was on the tough season with Volkanovski and Ortega. Um, Little short midget guy. But I think Andre Lima, he's a great boxer. He was landing some good elbows in his last fight. He's got good takedown defense. He's pretty solid everywhere. I think he's pretty good. So I'm gonna go with him by decision, just kind of outpointing, out damaging Mitch Raposo. Maybe Mitch Raposo gets a couple takedowns, lands a couple good shots, but overall, I think Andre Lima is just gonna win the majority of the fight. On to the next one. Island Perez versus Jocelyn Edwards. I'm gonna go with Island Perez by decision. I think she's just a little bit better, like a tiny bit. This is a pretty shit fight, honestly. Don't bet on this one, guys. Do not bet on this one. I don't have a whole lot to say about this. I think Island Perez is just a tiny bit better. I think she'll probably end up winning a decision, and if it's close, though, they're gonna give it to her. Um, yeah. On to the next one. I don't really care about that fight. It's terrible. These prelims are terrible. But I'm still gonna watch them because that's what I do. Mickey Gall and Basel Hafez. This is a pretty good fight. I don't know how Mickey Gall is still in the UFC. He's horrendous at fighting. I'm gonna go with Basel Hafez. Round one TKO, probably with ground and pound. He was having a lot of success in the JDM fight with his grappling, and to do that to JDM is pretty impressive. JDM wasn't at his best in that fight. He was making some silly mistakes, but Basil Hafez is still pretty damn good at fighting. You can tell just from looking at that JDM fight. That was very competitive. Um, I think Basil Hafez is going to get this one done pretty easily in round one, ground and pound TKO. Quick, done. Um, Phil Rowe and Jake Matthews. Now, I'm going to go with Phil Rowe on this one. This is a pretty interesting fight. Phil Rowe in his last fight, he wanted to test the clinch game with Neil Magny. I don't know why you do that. Um, Dumb decision, but I've been seeing him do some grappling tournaments and stuff like that. I trust that he's improving his grappling, so I don't think Matthews will have a whole lot of success with that. I think Phil Rowe is just going to be outstriking him on the feet a little bit, be pretty boring. Um, yeah, Phil Rowe's all right. He's nothing special. He's pretty good though. Uh, yeah, that's what I'm gonna go with for this one. Phil Rowe just outpointing him at range, defending the grappling. I'm sure Jake Matthews will have some moments. It's gonna be a close fight, but overall, I think Phil Rowe is a little bit better. Um, On to the next one. Grant Dawson and Joe Selecki. Now, I thought Grant Dawson was gonna be maybe a top five guy before his fight with Bobby Green, and then we saw what happened. Getting KO'd by Bobby Green in the first 30 seconds is not a good look at all. I'm still gonna go with him to win this fight though. Joe Selecki's striking is terrible. His last fight took a lot of damage. That looked like a nasty slam. That was bad. Um, Grant Dawson, I think he's going to be one step ahead in the grappling. He's going to be faster. I think he's going to be better on the feet. Um, he outgrappled Demir handedly, which is pretty impressive. Demir is not that great, but to do that to him as dominantly as he did, that's still impressive. I'm going to go with Grant Dawson just being one step ahead the whole time. Maybe he could get a late submission, but overall, I think he's going to win a decision. If he loses to Joe Solecki, he's cooked. It's over. Get out of the UFC. You're done. Leave. If you lose to Joe Solecki, this is kind of like a layup. Um, I feel like Dawson is probably like a lock of the card along with Basil Hafez. But on to the next one. Um, I don't even want to talk about this fight, but I am going to talk about it. I don't know what they were thinking. This is one of the worst fights ever that's ever been made. I would have much rather seen Jailton Almeida versus Sergey Spivak. That would have been a lot more interesting. Um, I don't really care about Alexander Blabanov. He's fat. He's gonna gas out in a minute. Jailton Almeida is just gonna wrestle fuck him for 3 rounds. Maybe he could get a TKO or a submission. I doubt it. Just because Romanov is kind of fat. He just weighs a lot of pounds. And he just lays on you with his big blobbish poundage. And that's the only thing he's really good at. He just presses his forearms into you with his big fat body, and he's a horrible fighter. I don't know why this is on this card. This should be a prelim opener on an Apex card. Um, yeah, I think Almeida's gonna win a decision pretty easily. Um, yeah, I mean, I'm not too high on either of these guys, as you can tell. This is a pretty terrible fight. On to the next one. This is a fucking banger. I love this fight. This should be on the main card over Alex Morono. Get to that in a minute. Roman Kopylov and Cesar Almeida. Now, this is a close fight. I think people are overrating Cesar Almeida a little bit, just because oh, he's a glory kickboxer. He beat Alex Pereira. He's getting a little bit overrated. Um, he hasn't looked too impressive. He's looked good. I mean, his grappling's alright. His striking is obviously good. But I think Kopylov is a little bit better at striking and a little bit better at grappling. I think he's going to have a tough first round. He was getting pressed by Claudio Ribeiro a little bit. But I think as the fight goes on, he's going to be tallying up body shots, leg kicks, um, just doing his thing at range, not letting Almeida get on the inside at all. I think he might integrate some grappling into this, shoot a couple takedowns, clinch a little bit. And when Kopylov throws punches and kicks, he does it in a mean way. Like everything is meant to hurt you. And honestly, I still think he could be top 15. Anthony Hernandez is a future champion, so I don't think him losing that fight is too bad. That is a terrible matchup for him. Yeah, I think Kopylov is going to win a decision, take over in round 2 and 3, maybe get close to a TKO, and make a statement, get back in there and maybe say, like, hey, UFC, I'm ready for the rankings again. I think this is a great fight, and I'm excited for it, man. I won't be too mad if Cesar Almeida wins either, because if he can beat a guy like Kopylov, then he really will have some promise. He'll have some some good opportunities in the future. So this is a banger. I'm going with Kopylov by decision. Randy Brown and Eluzu Zaleski dos Santos. This is a great fight too. Um, I'm gonna go with Randy Brown, and I think he'll be able to get a TKO or maybe a submission, a sneaky little submission in round 2 or 3. I think he's going to be doing his thing at range, not letting Dos Santos get close and get off really any meaningful damage. Um, it seems like he's coming into his prime. He's been on a little bit of a tear. His last fight was really impressive for Randy Brown. Dos Santos, he's pretty good. He is a very dangerous fighter, but I don't think he's going to be able to land anything meaningful on Randy Brown. Um, Randy Brown is very good at using the range that he has. I think he'll find a long right hand on Dos Santos and then drop him and finish him off with ground and pound in round 2. I think he's going to get another TKO. I think he's in his prime now, and he's going to keep going for a bit. I have high hopes for him. This is a good fight. On to the next one. Nico Price and Alex Morono. There's no way I'm picking Nico Price to win a fight ever again after that Robbie Lawler fight. That was terrible. Nico Price has a horrible chin. I'm not going to be surprised if he does win, because he seems like pretty quick twitch, like just fast and explosive. He's got a lot of power. But Alex Morono overall, he had a good fight with Buckley. That was a close fight. Um, I think he's just gonna be better. Get on the inside, land some good shots, just cruise through a decision. I think he can definitely beat a guy like Nico Price. I'm not too high on either of these guys anymore. They're both pretty bad, but you know, this is a pretty good fight. I am gonna go with Morono by decision. I just can't pick Nico Price to win a fight with his chin being the way it is. Um, but on to the next one. Kevin Holland and Mikhail Oleksiejczuk. This is a good fight, but I kind of wish Kevin Holland would have stayed at 170. I don't like him at middleweight. Um, he's one of my favorite fighters, and I wish he would kind of take his career more serious, because I think he's got so much potential. But I do think he will beat Mikhail Oleksiejczuk. I think he's gonna catch him with a big right hand down the middle and just kind of stun him, kind of like he did with Buckley. And I think he'll follow down and down to the ground, maybe get a Darce choke. He's got a good Darce choke. So I'm gonna go with a round one submission for Kevin Holland. I think he's gonna be a little bit faster. He's gonna see everything Mikhail has coming after fighting MVP, who's a really fast guy, moving back up to middleweight. I think he's gonna have a speed advantage. I think he's got a power advantage. He's got the range advantage, and I think he's just gonna stun Mikhail with a 1-2, drop him. I think he's gonna be landing some good body shots. Yeah, I think Kevin Holland is gonna win. This is a good fight. I can't believe it's a feature fight though. But yeah, Kevin Holland, 1-2 down the pipe, follow up with the Darce choke, round one over. That's what I think is going to happen. On to the co-main. Sean Strickland and Paulo Costa. This is a fucking amazing fight. I'm going to go with Sean Strickland. I think Sean Strickland is going to have a tough first round. He's going to be getting a lot of body kicks landed on him. That was something Dricus had a lot of success with, and Costa has some nasty kicks. But I think Strickland, after round one, is going to kind of just be jabbing Costa. His jab is going to be money in this fight, as it always is. He's got an amazing jab. I think Costa is really going to struggle to hit him with his little T-Rex arms. I mean, look at Costa's arms, dude. He's like a little T-Rex. He's going to be really struggling to land with Strickland with his hands. I think what Costa needs to do to have a lot of success in this fight, don't, be going hog wild and trying to land big hooks on Strickland. I think he needs to try and land his jab and get Strickland to just parry his punches, because I could see Costa throwing a jab to the body or just throwing a jab to the head, getting Strickland to parry it, drop his hands, follow up with a huge left head kick, and drop in Strickland. But I don't think he's going to do that. I think Strickland's defense is too good. I think his jab is too good. It's his distance management is great. It's like he's in boxing range, but it's like his range. He can hit you, and his defense is so good that you're not gonna hit him. I don't think Costa has the boxing to be able to really land anything of substance on Strickland. I think Costa is gonna gas out in the fourth, fifth round. I think Strickland could get a late TKO, but I'm gonna go with a dominant decision from Strickland, maybe a 49-45, getting a 10-8 in one of the later rounds. Costa's going to have some moments, but I don't think the moments are going to be enough to win him the fight. I think Strickland is just going to win more of the fight overall. And, he could be the champion right now. I'm a big Dricus fan. I think Dricus did win the fight, but Strickland could be champion right now if you put two different judges in there. I'm not forgetting who Strickland is, man. He's really good at fighting. He's going to beat Costa. On to the next one. Islam Makhachev and Dustin Poirier. I think the diamond's going to shine bright, man. He's going to shine bright like a diamond. He's just, it's written in the stars. Yeah, no, fuck that. Islam is going to beat his ass. Dustin Poirier, I love him. He's one of my favorite lightweights. He's a legend. But this is just not a fight that I think he's gonna win, man. He's talking, this is the last fight, this is my last chance to make life fair. Um, and Islam is focused on nothing but keeping that belt. I think Islam is so confident in his ability to win. I just don't see him losing. He's like the Thanos of the lighter weight classes. Um, I think Dustin's gonna have, maybe a big moment where he stuns Makhachev, but I think um, the reason Makhachev had so much trouble with Volkanovski was Volk is a shorter opponent. Have fun getting to his hips and taking him down. He's a little muscle ball. You're not gonna do it. Um, Volk is also a lot faster than Dustin. He's a better technical striker. Um, Volk is like tailor made to beat Islam when you really think about it, and Islam still beat him twice. And I don't think Poirier is at that level of speed or just like ability to keep Islam off him to where he's gonna be able to land something like really big and stun Islam. I have heard and seen that Islam might have staff. I personally think it's just a mark on his leg. Maybe he kicked somebody's elbow in sparring or just kicking the bag a lot. I don't think that matters a whole lot. Um, but yeah, I think Islam is going to make light work of Poirier, take him down in round one. Maybe Poirier pulls a guillotine and Islam gets a Von Flue choke. I could see that. But if I had to give you a prediction, I'm going with Islam Makhachev with a rear naked choke in round one. I think he's going to back Poirier up. He's going to be landing some kicks on the outside. He's got great kicks, got a good jab. I think he's going to back Poirier up, get in the clinch, land some knees, land some elbows, and I think he's going to trip Poirier, get him down, maybe go for a single or a double leg because Poirier's not great at stuffing takedowns. He's at a fucking hip replacement. Um, and I think he's gonna just land some big ground and pound shots, force Poirier to turn, give up his back, and then get the rear naked choke locked in, and he's gonna stay the champion. Um, I think it's Islam's time right now, and it's not Poirier's time. I think he's had his chances. I don't think he's gonna win this one. Um, yeah, Islam's gonna beat him, man. I'm confident in that. I love Poirier. I do kind of hope Islam wins just to continue this winning streak. And I just want to see the Habib fans get mad when people start saying Islam is better. I get great enjoyment out of that. But I will talk to you guys later. These are my full card predictions for UFC 302. Bye bye.